one.
Hi.
That was brilliant.
Welcome back to another episode of Bonding Time. My name is Greenwich, Christopher Greenwich, and I'm here with my co-hosts. Introduce yourselves, gentlemen.
Patrick. Ramon Patrick.
Hutchinson. David Hutchinson.
John. Just John.
Life is,
You need to have more fun with these names, John. I can't say with straight face anymore.
life is not complete until I hear that from John. And yeah, so your usual cast of characters are back to drop another bond on you guys. And this time we're discussing The World Is Not Enough.
Whoop, whoop.
Pierce Brosnan's third outing was 007. What did you guys think of the opening scene of this movie and the title credits? What do you guys think?
I'm gonna just say this based on the times we are in now, and seeing how Bond found out about that bomb. What have we been doing all our lives? In all honesty, it's like, okay, hand in the ice, takes out the ice, puts it in his drink. Oh, wait a minute, this is like, explosive on it.
Right.
Yeah, that was interesting. I was like, I wonder if I don't know. I wonder if fertilizer bombs or whatever it was work like that, but that was interesting.
That was interesting, yeah. But I actually love this beginning. I loved this beginning, from the action to the wordplay to that one scene that just threw me back to like a Roger Moore style
Yes,
joke.
thank you. This movie has so much Roger Moore feels.
So many nods, and I'm loving the bit of campiness in each and every situation at the right moments. Like Bond, this the boat chase, fantastic. Has that scene, switches it to dive.
Oh my god,
Adjust,
that was so corny though. Oh my god,
perfect for me.
That was so fucking corny.
Adjust the tie, gone again. Classic Bond style. So love the beginning, topical, sets up everything to go. Opening credits and song.
Yeah.
I think this one's a little bit generic. The song is not bad, but it's not great either. So I would say middle to lower tier for the opening. Sorry, the opening credits, but the opening, fantastic, on point for me. Set me up for the rest of the movie.
The opening song is written by Garbage. Would you say the opening song was trash? Or, sorry, not written, but sung by Garbage.
Why?
John's laughter just killed me.
You know what?
Oh my word.
That was proper for a bonding time night. Just saying.
Yeah, I want to extricate myself from this situation and just.
No, John, don't do that. Give us your take instead.
I agree. I think that the opening scene was like, it had everything. It was funny, action packed. It related to the rest of the movie. Like, it was such a good opening. I love how, like you said, the boats, and then all of a sudden he's a submarine, and like, it was just ridiculous. But it was good. So they explained what was going on in the beginning, and that was, always been a criticism for me for the openings for the early movies, where it's like they just had nothing to do with the actual movie. This was it brought in everything, and I like that this Bond Pierce Brosnan's Bond never got too serious, like, and not like, oh, this is a comedy, but he's never, in my opinion, just never been like super over the top, like dark, DC dark or anything like that. And that opening was like the perfect setup for me. I don't remember the opening credits, to be honest.
Yeah, it had like
Yeah,
the oil, like
yeah.
really.
They're, I mean, and so I don't remember them being bad. So it's just like run of the mill, like
Yeah,
opening
Middle
credits
of the
for a Bond
road.
movie. There's
Yeah.
going to be some naked lady. Yeah, running the middle of the road. I do like the song though,
yeah.
but I'm a garbage fan, so like I like trash. So like I do like the song.
You know what?
It's not like the best song in the world by far. I can actually only think of like a couple other songs that, because they're now going into like more of like a rock feel, and you know what they, again, these are Bond movies, they do what's popular at the time. Around this time it's like alternative rock.
Grunge. Oh yeah, alternative.
Yeah, not grunge, but it's alternative, music. I like the song, I like Garbage. So yeah, I really, it damn good setup for the movie. But I love this movie, so I mean, like, not surprised that I enjoyed the beginning of it. Yeah. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I think the opening was well done. I think definitely one of the better openings done in the Bond series. Although it did kind of feel a little bit disjointed because, in the beginning he's meeting with the bankers and everything, and he gets into a shootout with them and then escapes, and then now he's back in like MI6, and I don't know, it felt like a little not a little disjointed. Like it felt like they had an opening and then they were like, okay, we can't end the opening after he escapes the banker. Like we got to add some other shit onto this.
Right. Oh,
And
I get what you mean, because it wasn't just like one scene. There was like
right,
there was a jump,
right,
right?
right,
So it wasn't
Right.
like one
right,
scene that was the opening. There was like scene, jump, other scene, then it's the opening. Right. I got you.
right. Yeah, but I guess it worked because I mean, I think that was definitely the better thing to do, to have that boat chase in the opening. Like it was exciting, um, cool. Like that boat looked awesome. Um, yeah, very, very good opening scene. I approve. I think, Pierce Brosnan is definitely killing it as Bond, even from the jump in this movie. Like, he just looks so comfortable in the role now.
He
And
does, doesn't he?
yeah, like, I think he's got the routine down, and, he's
Right.
just in complete control, I feel like, from the start of this movie, of
Yeah.
the character. And I like the song. I think that was like Bond fashion song, like,
Right.
deep voice, type of like orchestra
Orchestra
type
and
of
everything,
song.
yep.
Traditional Bond song. I like it. Very well done. And I mean, opening credits were blah. I agree with John. Yeah, take it or leave it. But you know, you know, yeah, yeah. One thing about the opening credits, like the silhouettes of the women, like are like oil and everything, and I think it's a good tie-in to what's to come in the movie.
I see the
Mystery,
point.
maybe like money, that type of stuff.
It was all over an all pipeline. So
Exactly. So yeah, it was okay opening credits. What do you think, David?
Well, I will just agree with everything you all said. I thought it was a really good opening. I think I'm so glad that Ramon, you brought up Roger Moore, because they're particularly the beginning and the end of this movie felt so Roger Moore to me.
mhm.
I don't know what it was, but even the boat chase felt kind of Roger Moore.
It was that's it. You know what?
It
It was the
was
camp at the right moment.
it was great. Honestly, I think this is one of the better Bond openings
Mhm.
overall. The only thing that feels really weird to me is there is no reason for the boat chase. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all, because there's no reason for the girl to be there
And like
shooting at the
looking up
building.
at the hole, looking up at MI6 to see if
There's-
Bond reached out.
Yeah, there's legitimately no reason for her to be there. They even explain in the movie how he set off the bomb with his lapel. So why is she there? Why is Bond looking through a hole out into the river? That part just makes no sense. I
No,
never really
it
noticed
doesn't.
it before, but
Yeah.
it's
It
just yeah.
doesn't. They just literally just added some shit, you know, to keep the scene going, make it more exciting, like to keep the
Yeah.
opening sequence going. Like,
So I feel like that could have been easily fixed. I mean, geez, on Brett, how hard is it to just come up with some kind of motive for that? But anyway, I suppose you could argue that's a nitpick, but I feel like that is just basic writing. Like, come on. So anyway, I like the song. I like Garbage. I'm with John on this one. It's one of my most recognizable and favorite songs. I watched this movie
Fair.
as a kid. This was the second James Bond movie I ever saw. I had the poster of this movie up in my room for years. So
Yeah, I remember that.
this movie is nostalgic for me. And the opening is great. Good way to start off the movie.
I just hope your rating reflects that.
Oh well, you know what? A little preview. The
I don't
opening,
want
Oh
a
no, you
preview.
could go
I
straight
don't
into
want a
it. You
preview
could go
because
straight in, Dave.
the opening is the best part of this movie.
Wow.
oh dear, that's not good.
Oh, no.
Wow.
I'm guessing the new thing.
Hands down, the best part of this movie,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So
Anyway,
I'm guessing you think. Wait,
go
what
on.
were you gonna say?
Mm.
Are we doing Bond girls or
Um,
Bond villains next?
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys want to do? I mean, I was gonna go into Bond girls, but you know, I'm cool with
Let's
doing.
do girls.
Let's do girls, I guess.
You know, yeah. I mean, like this one's a little tough. You know, the main Bond girl. You know, I don't know. I was gonna say it's like Electra, but then you have, but I don't know. She's like the villain, so I don't know if is it really Christmas that's the main Bond
There's
girl. No,
3 candidates. If you guys would.
You are
Hear me
not
out.
gonna call
M.
M. M is not a candidate. M sucks in this movie.
M does not suck in this movie. M has a
sucks.
heart. We see the
She's here.
softer.
She's here.
Captain.
We see the softer side.
I don't
want to
see a
the
soft
motherly
side of M.
side.
I want to
of
see the
M.
badass M. not
It's character
motherly M.
development. It's called giving a character layers. She has layers in this movie. It's Christmas. There's
She's
M.
basically just
and
an
there's
old
Electra.
granny in this movie. Like, I lose respect for M in this movie.
I think that's the whole point, though. You're supposed to lose a little bit of respect for M, but did she gain it back or no?
By the end of the movie, by getting captured out in the field when she was told not to go in the field.
Didn't she get
No.
out?
I mean, did she get out or did Bond save her?
Bond,
anyway?
yeah, he
Bond
figured.
saved her.
Bond saved her.
Yeah.
She tried to do a thing with the clock. I guess she did like call for help.
Yeah, she did. They get a homing from that, so that was something.
Yeah.
But still, I would say so.
She saved
Judy-
the bacon.
Judi Dench, I think as M has had more screen time than
any
all the
M
others.
so
Like
far.
she is 100%. Like she's
Yeah, but that's just
actually.
because she's amazing. Judi Dench is the bomb.
Exactly.
I love Judi Dench.
But
I just don't like this M.
But no, it's
Not a
not this
Bond
time.
girl,
The
that
same
is.
character. But like, in my opinion, they actually made her into a real character in these movies, as opposed to the person who gives Bonds his orders and then moves on with their lives. Like,
Yeah, but so
I think the character development for sure.
Judi Dench is the only actor or actress that has played 2 different M's. And I think Pierce Brosnan's M is way worse than Daniel Craig's M. Like, I feel Daniel M
All right.
has character development, as you say, John, but I don't ever lose respect for her. In like Daniel Craig's M, like she's a badass, but she has a heart. But anyway, that's jumping ahead. So we'll talk about that when we get to Daniel Craig. But for me, her M was really good in GoldenEye, and every movie since then has just been not as good.
Oh no, she was amazing in that last movie too.
Not as well
What are you
written.
talking about? Dude, what are you talking about? She
In
was
Tomorrow-
awesome in Tomorrow Never Dies.
In Tomorrow Never Dies, all she did was sit in the car and give a briefing and give a few lines. What else did she do?
and then stuck it to the guy who's talking.
The stupid American guy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's happened so many times in Bond. That doesn't get me excited anymore.
Whatever. I think she's awesome.
The
But
wit
I
is
would
the
still-
wit is important to me though, and it was done with wit instead of just a dry storyline. So
I think the fact that she is like a female character in the Bond movie, we say Bond girl, and there's
Yeah,
a certain
Bond
idea of
girl.
a Bond girl,
Yeah,
but she's a
who
female
Bond sleep
character in the
with her.
movie. She's an important female character in the movie. So
Yeah.
you know.
That's better. Yeah, I can agree with that.
so that brings
But-
us to who's yours, John?
Okay, who is mine? Electra, 100%.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing,
figured.
right? That's why part of why I like this movie is that like she is not the traditional Bond girl, and we've talked about a lot of other Bond girls before, and I feel like if there was one who she was a bad bad guy, but
in
Dave
charge.
still called her the Bond girl. I can't remember if it was like Pussy Galore or
No, definitely not particular.
Was it? It wasn't Fiona, because I thought in Thunderball Dominique was the Bond girl. Yeah, I don't know.
was it?
Mayday? I don't know.
No, it wasn't Pussy Galore. Was it Octopus? No.
Oh, it was the Octopussy, because I think I said Octopussy was the main bad guy. She was the main villain, and then the main
Right.
Bond girl. So
Yeah.
maybe it was Octopussy.
Right. And I like for me. Okay, we could do both at the same time, but like to me, she was definitely the main Bond girl. Not saying like I actually liked watching this movie over. I liked Christmas a lot more than I've ever before. Like she's so pretty.
Oh,
She's so
gorgeous.
pretty.
So gorgeous.
Like I actually think that she's like in terms of look, she's one of the most gorgeous Bond girls that they've ever had.
Yeah. Very pretty.
And there's something about her where like I feel like if Electra is such a strong character, she overshadows the other woman in the movie, and but she does her job. She's not like completely useless. She's okay. You know, I mean, like Christmas is all right. She didn't. You know what the thing is? Past watchings, she annoyed me. This one, she didn't annoy me as much. I was like, okay, fine, she's there. You know. But Electra is definitely the Bond girl in this movie for me, and I think she's awesome. I think she's 100% badass. I
Yeah,
think she's
you
cool.
really liked her?
Yeah, I really liked her.
What's one
Who do
thing
you think?
liked about her? About Electra? Or
Throughout the movie, when you start the movie, I feel like if they set her up as the damsel in distress and the victim, she totally owns that, right? But I'll get to that when we like talk about the villain.
Okay.
That's why
Yeah.
I liked her so much.
Okay.
Who's your Bond girl, Ramon?
I'm now gonna have to go with Electra again. Christmas is, she's the love interest Bond ends up with at the very end, but John is right. She's overshadowed by Electra fully and totally, because once again, Electra is the man. We'll get to it she's effectively the mastermind and plays her role well, fools the entire British Secret Service, Bond included, and I guess just owns the screen. I don't want to say she is one of the strongest Bond girls in my opinion, but
I'd say it.
She's the Bond girl for this movie.
I'd definitely say that she's one of the strongest Bond girls we've seen so far.
Yeah. What about you, Dave?
I really liked Electra. She's definitely my Bond girl. I think she's great. I think she's unique because it's not very often where the Bond girl is the main villain. And I feel like this took it a step further than Octopussy did, because Octopussy was just being schemed by someone else, but in this one, Elektra is the one doing all the scheming. And Bond just totally falls for it. Bond just falls for it, and I thought she was amazing. Now, Denise Richards. Oh my gosh, Denise Richards. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just American Bond girls. Like, there's so few American Bond girls that I seem to like. I hated Denise Richards. I hated Christmas. This is like up there as some of the worst Bond girls in the series, up there with Tiffany Case from Diamonds Are Forever
Wow.
and Stacy from A View to a Kill.
Wow. Really?
I still
That bad?
think
see
Stacy
it.
wins. Stacy's still my least favorite because she was just so damn annoying. Like I actively wanted Stacy to die, but I think Denise is worse than Tiffany because Tiffany was so bad it was funny. Like, it was just
I
so
don't
bad.
know. I mean, she
No.
was just there for me, but I don't know if she actively took away. But
And
I didn't.
well, that's the
I-
thing. So I think Denise does take away because I think she's so miscast. Like,
okay,
at
I
least
see.
cast her. If you're gonna cast her, don't cast her as what is she in this? A nuclear physicist?
A nuclear physicist.
And she's
yeah.
explaining about how she's supposed to disarm a bomb.
You don't
And
even believe it. You don't
I'm,
believe it.
I'm sorry.
It's not
Nope.
believable. It's
And
just
and
not
she doesn't
believable.
add anything to the movie. I mean, she's not as annoying and it's not as like
No.
offensively bad
No.
as like Stacy
Some others are bad.
in A View to a Kill, but it's not entertaining at all like how some of the bad Bond girls are. So she's at the bottom for sure. But I
Well,
love Elektra.
you know what?
Elektra's amazing. Go Elektra.
You just brought up a really good point. She wasn't entertaining. That's my
At
problem
all.
with her. She wasn't entertaining. She was pretty to look at, and there's
I don't even
actually
find her that pretty. I know I'm alone.
I think I
Denise
actually
Richards is
think
not my
like
type.
Seconded, Dave.
she 100% looks gorgeous to me throughout this movie. Like,
Yeah, I'd agree.
because they set her up as like, oh, I'm smart, and then she lets down her hair, and then it's like, oh, I'm hot too, and I'm like, that was dumb, but you are hot. I'll give you that. That was stupid, but I will give you that she's hot. When she was when they were trying to see the casino guy, Valentine.
Zarkovsky or some shit. I don't know.
Sarcastic,
Yeah.
yeah.
Zakovsky. Yeah, and they like, and he used her as bait. I thought that was funny. And she looked damn good there, but like she was not entertaining. She like, yeah. But
You know
I
who
will
she
say-
reminded me of? She reminded me of Holly Goodhead, but just way less believable. Like how when she
Yeah.
first meets Bond, her attitude she gives Bond reminds me just like how
right,
Goodhead did. But it's just
right.
I actually believed,
Holly Goodhead for sure.
despite the
Yeah.
terrible name, I totally bought Holly Goodhead. I do not buy Denise Richards at all. I don't know why.
No,
Just-
you're right. You're right. I will say though, this time she did not piss me off as much as she usually does. I'm aware of the stuff, but I thought that she was fine this time. I don't know. I think I'm definitely looking at this movie with rose tinted glasses because I'm like I enjoy the crap out of it. But let's move on. Well, Chris, who's your?
Yeah.
Did you say yours?
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, I don't really have anything new to add. I agree with you guys. The main Bond girl is Elektra, and
Cool.
you
Well
know,
then, talk about the bad guy then, because I feel like if all of us are itching to like talk about bad guys, so that we could really get into the whole Elektra dynamic. Who do you think is the bad guy then?
oh, I mean, the villain. I mean, is Elektra. I mean I mean, she's she's the main bad guy. I don't think.
Hold on. All right. Do we want to go philosophical and say that it was M and her father for what they've done?
Oh no, we do not want to go philosophical. Not even a little bit.
That's fun. I like that way. I like that one. I mean,
Yeah, because I mean, she's literally painted as a victim of a traumatic situation that became evil. Like that was her
Right.
origin story.
yeah,
And, yeah.
you know, yeah, no, yeah, literally. I mean, as a villain, yeah, no. So I would say, I mean, she's definitely the main villain, and I think they did an excellent job with in this movie with the villain. Like, definitely did a misdirection there. Like, you think Elektra is this kind of like maybe not helpless, but this kind of vulnerable woman who needs
Right.
who needs saving from Bond. Who needs Bond to help save her. And then you think Renard is the mastermind, and the thing is, like, they kind of do it subtly too. Like, they kind of start making you wonder, well, shit, what's going on here? Because in like the middle of the movie, Bond is caught by Renard, and he utters a line that
Elektra
that
said earlier. Yeah.
yeah, that she said early in the movie, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck? What? So I
Right.
love that kind of a reveal that they did was excellent.
Nice.
Well done.
Mhm.
And Elektra, was just like the first time, maybe the first and only time we had like a main female villain, and they nailed it. She, you know, she's so, she knows how to manipulate men. Like, she can show that she's intelligent. She's greedy and like, you know, she's okay with like destroying her competitor, the competitors in the oil business. Like, she's ruthless. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
She is
manipulative,
ruthless.
ruthless. She could also like play vulnerable. Um, she was like in complete control as a villain. And even though she wasn't maybe like a physical threat to Bond, like, I think you definitely respected her. And I think that's something maybe they should explore in future Bond movies. Like, do some more female main villains, like, because they definitely did it well in this one.
Right.
What do you think, Ramon?
I'm kind
About,
of a little bit conflicted with this one.
or is that not you don't think that's the main villain?
I think he wants to go philosophical and be like, M is the bad guy.
No, it's not philosophical. It's just how they portrayed this villain per se. Because even at the end of it, I kind of look at her as kind of a victim still.
Right. Yeah.
So it's interesting how they set it up, because at all points she seems like there's been Bond villains who've been masterminds. Like, this was something they worked up based on their ego, based on some other build up. This one, it seems like she snapped and just became a supervillain. And you actually feel, I do feel some like for her, because yeah. But definitely, I guess because of the kind of crazy factor, she's definitely manipulative, owns the stage, plays effectively two types of victims through fooling Bond not once, actually not twice, but three times before he actually fully catches on. It's just like, all right, she's ahead of this right now. Fantastic to me.
Mm.
So it's an interesting dynamic that I thought they played well. But this is to me, this is the first Bond that I didn't see as a mastermind,
Right.
evil to the very core. Not evil to the very core, but like selfish to the very core and so forth.
Selfish, right?
Yeah. I love gold.
I don't know what you think, Dave? I guess some of that same sentiment. Or what?
One thing, like, I thought she died too early, which is kind of weird because I like the scene that she dies.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that after she dies, like, that part's interesting, and her being the villain is interesting. Her story is interesting, but the movie just becomes so dull after that. Like, Well, I'll get to that when I
Right.
get to overall thoughts. But I think she's a good villain. I think it's great how they did that, and I do think she's the main villain. Like you think Renard is the villain, but he's just a
Right.
Yep.
fucking henchman
A
at the end
hench-
of the day.
He is
Yep.
exactly.
He's not a bad
And
henchman. I think they did a good job.
Some
With him.
point is a good henchman. No.
the only thing, like his whole thing with the bullet in the brain, doesn't amount to shit.
No,
They didn't
they
do
don't
anything with
really
it.
use that at all.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Renard is an
mean-
okay henchman. He's okay
Mhm.
because he has the bullet in the brain, and it, we can't feel anything. That's
Can't feel,
kind of
yeah.
cool. But
But they don't use it. Yeah.
yeah, they
Yeah.
don't
At
do
least I
anything
don't
with it.
think so.
Yeah. Didn't.
And I like Electra, so go Electra.
Mhm.
It sounded like you were gonna say something, Ramon. You don't think that?
I thought it. Let's see. They kind of used it in like the scene where he was all in his feelings. Not
Right.
being able to feel in a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And
And
so
I
the
thought they could have
table.
made more of that for sure. But
so
it
what
didn't
I
amount to anything.
what I think is that they didn't use it in the traditional sense of, oh, a great fight scene where Bond is like hitting him and he's not feeling anything. What they
Yeah.
used it in is like part of her manipulation of him, which I loved.
Yeah.
Right?
How so? What do you mean? Like,
It added dimension to her character. So no, okay, so here's the thing, right? There's this thing where, so they do it in comic books a lot, right? Where they introduce a character and they tell you, oh, this person is manipulative. So then you're supposed to just be like, oh, that person's manipulative, and then you move from there, right? As opposed to where they show you how the person is manipulative and you're like, oh damn, this person's manipulative, and I
Yeah.
feel like if they do that a lot in movies, because they don't have time to like show you, they just tell you, oh, they're also the most intelligent person in the world, and then you're supposed to just buy into that.
Yeah.
So we find out that information about him, but she's the one who uses that information to manipulate him, where they're like being intimate and she's using the ice and she's like, he can't feel anything. So he's all in his like, not I can physically feel anything, but in his feelings, because he's dying and he like his senses are going, and then she uses it to be like, oh no, and endear him to her. She uses it to manipulate him, and it's just like, so usually that would be a strength in a fight against Bond, right? But it's actually a weakness that she takes full advantage of, and she's the quote unquote victim in this situation. She's the one who has Stockholm syndrome and whatnot. I love that about her. I think that she's one of my favorite villains because it is definitely taking someone who, when we start out the movie, I don't know if you guys would agree with this. They have a way of portraying women as like, oh, we're strong women. And then they're like, oh, but Bond kissed me. Now I'm just like Play-Doh and he can mold me and I'll do whatever he needs and I love him so much. And there's going to be a next Bond girl in the next movie, And I think that they kind of play that up where it's like she's a strong woman and then she's going to be putty for Bond. And
She flipped it.
and she's the one who flipped it, and she is the one who like took full advantage. It's not Bond pumping her for information. She was totally pumping Bond for information. They flipped it in a very real way, and she's not a henchman. She's not a stooge who's getting information to like pass it on. She's legitimately like the mastermind. She's like telling Renard Bond's weaknesses because she's got intimate with him. She's playing Renard so that she gets what she wants because let's face it, he's attacking her pipeline, but not really and she's so smart about that. She's encouraging him to attack her so that it looks like if she's the victim, but she's not. She's trying to get everybody else and she's trying to fuck up everybody else. It's great. I think as far as a villain, she's one of the best. I think that she's so entertaining. I think when she I also think that she's gorgeous, and her whole like when she was talking about like, oh, this is my mother's land and my father stole it from our people and blah blah blah. I was kind of like, I think it's very believable. One, but I just think it's so. So what would you all consider the our introduction to her? When did we first like see her?
Was that the funeral? I think I heard father's funeral. Right, like right after the opening credits, I think.
Is that it?
I think that's when we first see her.
So when I first, so I know she was there, but when I think about it, the first scene that I remember her is the hostage video, or when she was recovered, that Bond was watching the video of her
Yeah, I think that happened like
after she's like,
right after that funeral scene, I think.
right. Seeing that, to me, that was like, they are setting her up as a wounded dog,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And then she's just like total, by the end of the movie, she's total badass. She is so manipulative. It is fucking like insane. I think that she's one of the best Bond villains. She's top tier Bond villain for me. And then especially since this is a very unique storyline. This many movies, we've seen so many different things before. This is, to me, taking it to
Yeah.
another level.
Yeah.
I will admit this is definitely one of the few situations where we saw Bond definitely like this could have been it for him.
Right.
Like, you definitely felt like he was in trouble throughout the movie.
Yeah, because he didn't even know what the fuck was going on throughout the whole movie. Like he was like,
I do like the fact that he figured it out though. Like he didn't they didn't like make him into a total idiot. Like he figured it out through what she said.
mhm.
And that's a subtle mistake because they wouldn't have known. They weren't in the same room. So they would have known that they
Oh.
made that mistake, and he picked up on it, and like he was on the ball. And I think that's why I liked him in this role as well.
This is
He
a
wasn't
proper
like
espionage detective movie. So I give it at some
exactly.
point.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
really it was good shit. There was something else. He was unsure of himself as well because he was kind of like he wasn't like, is that a coincidence or what the fuck is happening here, and he really did. And I think that he played really well. Oh no, she is she has Stockholm syndrome. She's still the victim here, right? And it's only till the end of the movie that he's like, no, you crazy, like you're the bad guy, and there was so much back and forth. It wasn't like a switch and it was like, oh, she's the bad guy. It was like he had some back and forth with it, and she played with that as well.
Yeah, it was gradual up until the very end. Bond was like, I can still save you. You know.
Yeah, he really, because he really loved her. I mean,
do you think he really loved her?
I think he did.
I don't think so.
I
I mean,
think he really loved
I
her.
think he had feelings for her, but I don't think he loved her.
Yeah,
I think that he
feels a buttressed by like M's love for her and her family too. So
I think in my mind, what it was is that,
maybe not love, but I mean, he definitely like. I think he really cared strongly for her because I mean, he kills her in cold blood, but it's not like then he kind of stands over her body like fuck, like.
Bond has a hero complex. He likes to save people. He's a hero, right? And I think that he really thought that he could save this girl, or he really did think that she was a victim here and he was trying to save her. But she wasn't the victim. She was the bad guy. She was the one who was manipulating all of them. And like in her little monologue speech or whatever, she's like, oh, from young, I knew that I could like manipulate men. And I was like, you know exactly what the fuck you're doing. Like you're not a victim here. You not saw an opportunity. You saw that your dad wasn't going to save you, so you had to save yourself, and you have daddy issues, and you 100% just like played that crap up. She's evil. I liked it.
And at the same time, like she's trying to like take control of the oil industry, at least on that side of the world.
cement her legacy.
There's layers. There's layers to her because if you think about it, when she was talking about her mom, it's not like she had reasoning, and it was it was evil reasoning, but I could also like understand that, like, and we only heard about her father from the beginning of the movie. We didn't hear anything about her mother, so like her bringing that up, and I think that that's a very real thing. You women are used sort of like to seal business deals and like marriages, and that's how it's done. I can definitely see that where she's like, no, you're my family, you're exploiting them, even if you're my family too, and she's like fighting for that. That's really interesting.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think we all agree that was very well done, villain wise. So let's move on to the one-liners now. What I mean, I think there were a couple here in this one. See Ramon's face.
Yeah, there was a lot in this one.
There was a lot in this movie. Was really funny. I
It
thought.
was on point.
Like,
Yeah.
B, this
Yeah.
this was almost a Roger Moore movie. Like this movie felt so Roger Moore to me.
and
Loved it.
yet you're going to give it a low rating. Oh, okay. We'll see.
I gave
Alright,
Roger
we
Moore.
haven't gotten there yet. We have not gotten there yet. So let's get on to the lights, people. I'm gonna go last.
You're gonna go that, okay.
Well,
What's
I'll,
really
I'll
called
I'll get
that?
mine out of the way. As the accountant, I'm gonna go with the accounting joke, where the
No, Dave.
villain was saying about how yeah, he's not getting out of this room alive or something, and Bond's like, I think you're failing to account for my hidden
Hidden
assets. Those are his glasses. Boom.
Wow, good one.
Mm.
That line was the bomb.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
And let me get one more.
ignoring
Sure.
that, I think.
Well,
we
actually,
just
no,
lost
you
a couple
go. Because
viewers.
I don't wanna take one of y'all's. But there was another line in that same scene, like so Roger Moore. I love that scene. That scene.
The opening was on point. It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
opening was great.
What did y'all think of R?
Of who?
R.
Who's R?
Who's
John Cleese.
Exactly.
John Cleese.
Exactly.
Oh.
John Cleese.
Oh yeah.
I love John Cleese. I don't like her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it left him out. Yeah, he was. Forget.
What do you mean left him out? That's who he was. John Cleese was R.
He's supposed to be the new Q. I don't know. I mean, I
He
don't
is,
like.
he is a new Q because Q exited. Like I think that he died or something.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's his last one anyway. No, I think.
Yeah, he was probably gonna show up in the next one, but yeah, he died before this came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like the silly take on Q. I think.
What do you mean the silly take on
R.
Q?
I feel like that kind of.
the tech guy.
Well, because R doesn't demand any respect. Like he just seems
Yeah.
like a klutz.
Yeah. That's exactly how they.
But, okay,
Whereas,
but in the
whereas
next,
Q is never like that, and even in Die Another Day, he's a klutz.
okay, in the next movie, isn't John Cleese going to be Q?
No, he's still R.
Is he?
Pretty sure.
All right, we'll
I
get to
don't
that
think-
one. Let's not skip
Well,
ahead,
I mean,
guys.
when we watch, I'm pretty sure John Cleese is going to be Q next.
Oh yeah,
he's the next.
He is
he's the
technically
next,
Q.
because
Yeah.
James Bond like makes the next. He makes that joke. Is he the next Q?
Yeah.
I thought John Cleese was hilarious. I did not John Cleese is always funny. It's fucking John Cleese. Like it's fucking hilarious. Right in my smell. My line was when he was at the casino and he was talking to the henchman. And the man was like, "What do you say? I see you put your money where your mouth is." And like the first time you see the henchman, he just has like grills, and I'm just like, this motherfucker.
He doesn't trust banks. Yeah.
Buddy. I forgot
I
about
was
that.
like, wow. I don't think it was like it wasn't a over the top line,
Yeah.
but it touched my heart when he my favorite
That seemed
lines
like
aren't-
classic Bond. A classic
Exactly.
Bond line.
It was just wit. And the fact that this guy was evil and like he got him back later, and like I like the fact that that was very much like observational humor, which I appreciate. That was awesome. That was a good line. Especially the guy, like, I don't like, I guess the director obviously would have been like, yeah, smile real big so that you can see your grills, and yeah, I thought it was a great line.
Yeah,
Yours, Chris?
that was a good one. For me now, mine happens at the beginning of the movie where, Urban's in the room with the Swiss banker and the accountants and everything, and the woman who's with them. I'm trying to remember her name. God
Oh, yeah.
damn it! I want to remember her name. Hold on. Like her name was right. Oh, right. So they call her Cigar Girl in the movie, but it's Maria. Wow, I cannot pronounce her last name. Susinota. But anyway,
Okay.
she's like gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And so she like leans over to Bond to hand him a piece of paper. He's like, "How do my figures look?"
Yeah.
Bond takes a look at her breasts. He's like,
Well
"I
rounded.
think your figures look well rounded," or some shit like that.
On
And
point.
it's like a subtle look, like she asked him the question, and so he just takes a look at her, like he just looks over at her breasts and looks back. And he's like, "Well, they look perfectly rounded to me," or some shit like that.
Yeah, I remember that line. That was a good line. That was
Yeah.
definitely a good line.
That was a good line. Not gonna lie, the line that hit the hardest for me was actually for Renard at the very end. Like when he thought he won, he's actually inserting the nuclear warhead rod. Welcome to a nuclear family. I died. I legit died at that point in time. Like it, I don't know. It just seemed like that fight, that a classic Bond situation, a Bond line where like I've won.
This is
Peace.
why I
Wow.
miss watching
Deuces.
these movies with you guys. Like,
Wow.
watching some, like, I remember watching Live and Let Die, and I just thought that movie was so much better watching with you guys. I mean, I liked the movie already, but like you and Ramon in particular, like Chris and Ramon just die at things that I like. That would be a throwaway line for me normally. But if I was watching with you guys, Ramon would have fallen out of his chair, and then I would have.
I'm sure. Like, welcome to my nuclear family.
Oh man.
Well,
I'm disappointed that's the line that we waited for from you, Ramon. I gotta say it.
Yeah,
Like, I am
Ramon,
just like,
it's been
what?
Fine.
I'm
but
surprised no one chose the Christmas Comes Twice a
I
Year.
know.
Oh Jesus!
I
No,
know.
that was too on the nose.
Yeah.
that was too much.
Yeah,
That was
I will admit.
Yeah.
especially
Hey, John, you watched this movie as a kid. I never picked up on
Okay,
that
point
line
taken.
right.
when I watched
Absolutely.
it.
But
Yeah.
I've also seen it before. I've seen it since I was a kid, and in the beginning of the movie, when we first meet her, she's like, "Oh yeah, I've heard all the jokes before, right?" So you knew at some point he was gonna make some joke. I actually would have appreciated it if
But see, that was a funny joke when he says, "Oh, I don't know any doctor jokes," and I was like, "That was witty.
That was smooth.
That was
smooth.
that was
Right.
pretty witty."
So I don't know how you guys would have felt about this, right? But if they had a play on that, and like he was trying to make jokes, and like she was just like, whatever, you're an idiot, right? Like if he was constantly trying to make jokes, and she was like, okay, none of those are funny, right? And then he finally got one that was funny. I think that would have been an interesting thing.
Better.
But like, I think that also would like taken away from him. Like the final joke would have to have been legitimately a damn good joke in order for that to work. But him like failing at jokes would have like made it bad. I don't know. I think if I were the director, I would have tried, or the writer, I would have tried to do something like that. Since he is known for his lines, well, with the audience, and she specifically said that before. But yeah, when he did say that line, I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. I was over it at that point.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think this movie was funny though. Like, I really think this movie was funny.
No, let's get into the overall thoughts on the overall movie and the rating. I don't know. Did you? I was gonna have John go since he was already talking about it, but I don't know, since it's like his favorite, maybe have you go last. Maybe.
No, I want to go first. This is a 10. This is a
Go
pure
ahead.
10.
Let it out.
That's
God.
2 10s in a row. Whoa.
10s across.
Word.
Yo, I really
I
enjoyed
feel
the
like
shit
you
out of
really
this
are
movie,
watching
guys.
Pierce Brosnan in rose-tinted glasses.
I know.
really
Yeah.
What?
So here's the thing,
210.
right? It's real unfortunate because the next one I'm gonna like pummel. I watched this movie 3 times because I just enjoyed it so much. I was so happy that we were watching this movie. I watched this movie like 3 times, and I enjoyed it every single time. I really had fun with this movie. There's a lot, and one of the things that popped up in my head is I wish that I could remember because the Electra at this point, the Electra reveal is like I know that she's the bad guy. It's not a reveal anymore. It's just part of the movie that I know is coming. I really wish that I could remember what my reaction to it was. Because I think that that would have like blown my mind because I really started the movie not thinking that she was going to be the bad guy, and by the end of it, she's the freaking bad guy. This movie's awesome. It's funny. The action was good. Even the pipeline thing was pretty fake, but I enjoyed it. Where they're like taking the vehicle and they're going through the pipeline.
The
I
trap
enjoyed
sets out
it.
the bomb. Mhm.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. The
Shitty
submarine
CGI.
thing, the action in the beginning, I thought it was funny. I thought it was unique. It wasn't like every other Bond. It was unique with what they did with Electra's character. I like John Cleese in it. I like M in it. I really like the fact that M is developed as a character, and I feel like if that's one of the strengths of these movies, they really stepped out of Bond is the character in this movie, and they really developed other characters and like
They
I
make it
really
into a
like this
proper
movie.
series. You know,
Right.
you're
And
following
this
you're following everyone in it.
yeah, and this movie more than anything else, I'm entertained when I watch it. I don't think like I guess you guys would disagree with me, but I'm just very entertained and I'm on board. I keep on saying these movies are too long, but this movie, I'm on board for this 2 hour long movie.
Mhm.
10.
A 10? Jesus.
10.
If this is a
Uh,
10 and Tomorrow Never Dies is a 10, I feel like Die Another Day would have to be like a 7 or an 8.
7, man.
Die Another Day, yo, if Die Another Day gets more than a 4, is a good day.
Oh,
Because I haven't watched that movie since we watched it. I really hate that movie. I'm going in with like shit covered glasses tonight.
oh my god. Dang.
Anyway, I like the idea of us watching that one together. That'll
Yeah.
make it good.
Give us your take there, Dave, on this one.
So I liked the opening, as I said. I just feel like the opening has everything that's interesting about the movie, except Electra. There's no real good action scenes after the boat scene. Electra's interesting. She's the best part of the movie, but then she dies, and that's
But
it.
she dies. I actually agree with you. Because when she died, it did fall off a little bit for me afterwards. And it felt like if it was just tying up loose ends so we could finish the movie. But
Yep.
that's only like 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I mean like you had your climax and you're just finishing it off. Okay, it's fine. Like it's
Yeah,
okay.
but I mean, there's legitimately no real good action scene in this movie, from my opinion,
No.
except the boat scene, which happens
I agree.
But the
before the
boat scene-
credits.
But the boat scene was a good action movie. So just because it happens in the open credits means that it doesn't get credit for that?
No, it gets credit for it, but
It's the only one.
it's the only one. Like, I mean, The Spy Who Loved Me started off with a great ski scene, and
I
then
have a
it
question.
had one of the best car chases, and it had multiple action scenes.
I have a question, right? When you all saw those massive helicopter devices cutting the trees, right? Did you think, fuck, I can't wait to see those things fuck some shit up?
Yes. They made
Wait,
it
which
very
one?
obvious that was going to be used.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. I was like, it has no. They're just showing this, and like I really wish I could remember. Like I watched this movie so long. I wish I could remember what I was thinking back then. When I was watching it this time, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see you back again. Like I enjoyed that,
Helicopter with saw blades.
with the
That
saw
Yeah,
blades, and
remember
they
like
cut.
the saw blades that were hanging.
that was. I'm sorry. I thought that was stupid as cunt. Like
Yeah,
what?
but I could see that they were going to bring them back.
A helicopter
Yeah.
with
Okay,
saw blades on the end. Like what? That is random as fuck.
they've done everything already, Chris. They have done everything already. I don't know. I wasn't
They're trying
giving
to
them
cut
a
up.
pass.
I
I
know.
just think that it was. I think it was. They're trying new things, and I actually think that that's the misstep that the next movie is gonna have. They tried too many new things, and they should have. Someone should have been the director and been like, "No, guys, this is stupid. Like,
You know,
this is dumb."
this movie was nostalgic for me, but even when I was a kid, I did not like this movie half as much as I liked GoldenEye. This movie taught me what sophomore slump meant. Like I was just thinking about this when we were talking. Like I think this may have been the first sequel I'd ever watched, ever. And it proved to be sequels are not usually as good as the original because it
Whatever.
wasn't.
I love this movie. This movie was fucking awesome. This was the first time I watched a James Bond movie. Hard 10. So good. Oh,
Well,
and the casino scene when he goes in with Elektra, knowing that everyone in there hates him. You didn't think that
well,
was entertaining?
The casino
well,
scene was pretty
Oh,
interesting.
you
Like you
mean with
said, yeah, the
the X-ray
casino
glasses?
was pretty good.
Yeah, the extra glasses were there too.
Yeah, I
oh
like they
right.
brought back Valentine Hagrid.
Yeah, I'm glad they brought him back too. He was a good supporting cast for sure.
Yeah, he was good. Anyway,
And
it's
they're
not
like,
a terrible movie. I mean, for
Yeah.
me, it's not terrible, but it's not good. It's nowhere near
okay, so what's
top. It's a 7 for me.
okay? Seven's reasonable.
Ramon, what say you, sir? You feel the same way? Seven?
I enjoyed it. It gave me a lot of nods to Roger Moore. It was pretty funny. Villain was really good to me as well. But I don't know why this movie just didn't. It clicked more than the last one, but
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, I'm not. It's not a 10 for me, but I'd probably give it an 8.
That's reasonable.
Well,
8 if we had to round it. I'm rounding down, but it's an 8.
Cha. Nobody's asking you to round it down.
about to give this a 4. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no. I think this one. I think it had a good story. Kind of kept you guessing. Had good mystery throughout. You're like, what's going on here? Who's really the bad guy? Is Elektra really in on this or not? They really kept you guessing. The villain on point. I agree with Ramon on point. The henchman, I thought was a good idea. I thought the henchman could have been on point, but they just didn't explore that whole him not being able to feel pain. Like I felt they could have gone further with that. Maybe use that in a fight with Bond or something. Like because they kind of. Huh?
We've had good examples of it being used for like Jaws and Odd Job, and they seem more impervious to pain than he did.
Yeah, like maybe like have Bond like wailing on this guy, and then this guy's not feeling anything. Then the guy's like beating the shit out of Bond. Like Bond really has to like think, how the fuck am I gonna like take care of this guy? Like maybe have something like that. Huh?
Oh, because we've never seen that before.
I mean,
but that's the thing. This guy, it was his whole stick, and we didn't see it.
His whole stick,
that's the reason why I said, but they use it in a different way. Like we've heard that before, we've seen that before. They use it in a different way. I'm not saying that I would have been so against that. All I'm saying is, how many times have we seen Bond hit somebody across the face and they look at him and smile?
Yeah,
but I mean, it's like because they're like a physical specimen threat. But I mean, this guy, like Bond could actually beat him down, but it just wouldn't do anything. Like before we've seen like Bond hit somebody and there's nothing happens because the guy's just bigger than Bond. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is a little different. Like, I don't know. I don't really know if I buy that whole like. I mean, did they really use it in a different way though? Like, I don't
Well,
know.
I think so. That was my interpretation, right? They used it in a different way. It's fine if you guys don't agree with me, but that's why I thought it was interesting. Because they did mention it. They made a point of pointing it out, and they didn't use it the way that we all thought. Because when they say stuff like that, you automatically go to, oh, that's gonna make a fight scene, and they didn't do that, you know.
All right, fair. That's fair. Okay. All right.
Here's my thing.
So,
I look at it more of a missed opportunity
yeah,
than
me too.
Which is
positive.
fair. I totally get that. I totally get that, but I like the fact that they didn't 100% lean into, oh, it has to be a fight scene. You know, it's not all about the fight scene. And so I said that I was 100% entertained throughout this movie, and you guys are right. It wasn't heavy on the action, and I think that speaks to that as well. The fact that it wasn't heavy on the action, but I was still entertained throughout. Like, I still really enjoyed this movie.
Nah, I mean for me, nah. I mean I have to agree with Dave on that one. Like, yeah, I mean outside of the action scene in the first one, in the opening scene, like really nothing else memorable here. Like the locations in the movie are like bland, like going to fucking oil fields and shit. Like, I mean, it's just, I mean, there's really nothing pretty about this movie. I feel like,
Oh, okay. So you say that, right? This is one of the few movies where I actually Googled the Devil's Breath or whatever, the place where like all the fire was that he was having the meeting with the henchmen around Elektra.
Mhm.
Because I was like, is that a real thing? Is that like a real place? Because I wanted to know. I thought that that was interesting. I just enjoy this movie way more than you guys. That's like,
Wait a minute, like the Devil's Breath, that looked like a set. I didn't
but that's
believe
the
they were on
reason.
location.
But that's the reason why it legitimately looked like Outworld in Mortal Kombat. And I was
That's all I
like, is that a
said.
real place? And that's the reason. That's the reason why
It
I
has a Mortal
googled it.
Kombat name, Devil's Breath.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's the reason why I was like, is that a real place? Is that an actual? Because up to this point, they do a lot of very realistic places. They go to very realistic places and they shoot very realistic scenes. And I wasn't sure, is that a real place or not? So I was like, I want to know. Can I like go visit that on vacation?
Mhm.
It's not real. It's not real.
Oh,
It's
okay, yeah.
it's like, yeah.
I don't know. It
It's
just struck me as like back when Doctor No had Bond found Doctor No in this mud cave and drowned him. Like it seemed like a set like that, like a
no,
throwaway piece.
but
But okay.
I agree with you. That's the reason why I wanted to know if it was real. Like that's the reason why I was like, is it actually a real place? And I was questioning myself. It's just because he brought up the sets and stuff like that, the location. Sorry, and I was like, it's funny to me because I kind of agree with him, but that was like one where I like
You're looking at this chat.
they
Okay.
picked cool locations. They've done, I think, the Devil's Highway. They've done James Wan Island. Well, now what's known as James Wan Island. Like they've done some really interesting locations before, but I legitimately had to Google this and see if it's a real place.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, overall, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think they got the villain right here. And I think they had a good story. I just think they could have developed maybe the henchman a little more and probably had more action. Maybe do a better Bond girl in Christmas.
She was a Bond girl.
So yeah, I think it definitely fell short in a few places. But I'm gonna what I give Tomorrow Never Dies a 6. You know, Dave? Can't remember.
Um,
All right, I'll give this a
I
7.
think you gave it a 6. Yeah,
All
pretty
right, so
sure.
yeah, then I think this was better than Tomorrow Never Dies. So I'll give this one a 7.
So that gives this an average of, I'm not gonna like this, 8. This movie's gonna be way too high.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
way too. I think that's way too high for this movie, dude.
I might have.
Well,
yeah.
I feel like if you guys are gonna shit on it later, so I mean, take what I
Well,
can get
I'm
now.
not gonna do what you did to From Russia with Love and just downgrade the rating to try and get the average rating down.
Well, no. I didn't downgrade that to get the average down. I hated that movie. Like it's
Yeah, so
like, I
you
did not
hated it,
enjoy
and
that.
you want the average rating to reflect your hatred.
Yeah.
What did I give that movie? What did I give that movie? Like
I
Two, I
don't
think.
know. If I tell you, you're going to lower it by 1.
because honestly, I don't like that movie. It's like it deserves to be a 2. It's so bad.
Did I give that a 10 or did I like?
You
ended
gave
up
that
at
like a
9?
10. You gave that like a 9 or a 10 or.
Just because I had to concentrate what John was doing. Like I thought it was.
But you know what the thing is? I genuinely dislike that movie. I do not. Yo, that train scene still fucking makes me angry.
I
Get
love
off
the
the-
train.
Best in this
Get off the
series.
train. Just get off the fucking train, dude.
All right. Well, we'll continue that one. You know what I mean?
Actually, are we gonna do? Dave, you need to get by your computer so we could do like follow-ups.
Yeah, because once we do
okay.
Die Another Day, we'll need to do a re-ranking and
full ranking.
and do the who's the best Bond up to date, like of all the actors. So
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting to see who's got the best average rating because right now Pierce is.
I really wish
It's
that we could do.
Artificial.
I genuinely wish you the same way that like technically we don't count what's his name?
Timothy Dot. Oh, George Lazenby.
No. Fuck the original.
Oh wow.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, I can't remember my man's name.
Oh wow.
I'm really tired. All right. Technically we don't count Sean Connery's last movie because it's not technically part of the thing. I really wish that we could not count the next movie. I really wish that I could not have to watch this movie now. I actually think that we might like discuss it, and I will just like give my rating and X
It's
out.
part
and
of the
not watch
continuum.
it.
See, I'm more
Everyone
excited
has
for
had
Die
a
Another
fire
Day
one, and they've had a
than-
shit one. Whichever one.
Yeah, I'm more excited for Die Another Day than I was for Tomorrow Never Dies and World Is Not Enough, because like Die Another
'Cause you're
Day
antagonistic.
is the kind of movie that could be so bad it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch the train wreck.
Yeah.
You know what the thing is that I hear you, and I think that if I go in with that attitude, it might be a little bit better. But I'm already angry because I can like mentally picture it. Like the scene that pisses me off the most is scarred into my brain. And Dave, we had arguments
Tsunami
about
kite
Face Off,
surfing.
right?
Hmm.
Yes, and we've had arguments before about Face Off, and this is essentially the same shit.
You know what we should do? After we're done all the James Bond, we should watch Face Off, rank it,
You
and
know
then
what?
Pulp Fiction.
Hold that thought. Stay tuned for our rating.
Yeah.
We'll close it here, guys.
Let's close
Signing
it out. You know.
Why? Okay.
Well, you know,
Oh,
we'll save the good. We'll save the good stuff for the
We'll
next.
live to die another day.
There's so much. Okay, there's so much that happens in these other movies that I don't remember. But like the awful things that happen in this next movie are scarred into my fucking brain.
It's extremely memorable. Let's keep it there.
Well, everybody needs to tune in for that one. That's about to be one not to forget. So.
Oh, we're gonna argue so much. No, we're not gonna argue. I'm just gonna rant. I'm just gonna rant the entire time.
Well, all right, folks. We're about to get out of here. It's been here long enough. So tune in next time.
See ya.
See you.